Welcome to Mediocre Gaming, and today we're playing Deep Rock Galactic. Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm Zarel. Let's get to it. So today we're doing the deep dive, codenamed Fragile Gap. But before we get to that, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and ring that bell to be notified of all future episodes as soon as they go live. So let's get into it. Stage 1 of the deep dive has low oxygen, crystallized morkite, and alien eggs. So low oxygen means that the atmosphere is toxic. You only have a small tank on your back that provides oxygen, about a minute. And the only way to get more oxygen is from the mule, from the drop pod, or from a resupply pod. Now, alien eggs, of course, you're going to look for that organic matter on the sides of the level. Dig in towards the pulsing red light and dig out that egg. You have a chance of spawning a swarm every time you grab an egg, but even if you don't spawn a swarm, you will spawn some enemies, so be aware and be ready for them. And then crystallized morkite, you're just going to dig them out, look for it. It's kind of a blue-gray glow even when it's not illuminated, and just dig it out like you would any other mineral. Speaking of minerals, make sure you're keeping your eyes open for gold and nitra while you're doing your missions, including the deep dive, but especially the deep dive. Gold, of course, will get you credits at the end of the deep dive. Nitro will keep you flush with health and ammo during the deep dive. So keep your eyes open for those swarms when you're pulling the eggs, or just a small swarm of enemies when you pull the eggs. And then, of course, you have regularly scheduled swarms of enemies coming at you after certain lengths of time. Now, once you have all the morkite and the eggs, call in the drop pod and make your way out. Now, you're going to want to stay close to the mule as you make your way out, since you only have about a minute of oxygen on your back. So unless the drop pod is close by where you can just make a run for it, you're going to want to be close to the mule so that you can resupply your oxygen every 30 seconds or so. When you start getting about 50%, it'll beep at you. Once you get down to about 25%, then it insistently beeps at you and says, hey, you're gonna be toast if you don't do something, because you will quickly lose health once you run out of oxygen. It goes down very, very quickly. So hop into the drop pod and make your way to the next stage. So that's it for stage number 1. Moving on to stage number 2. Alright, stage 2 of the deep dive has a quarks, shield disruption, and a black box. So shield disruption means that you have no shields. Every time you get hit, it takes a small chunk out of your health. So without a buffer, you're slowly ticking away towards your own downfall with every hit that you take. So keep those bugs at arm's length if at all possible. Quarks, of course, are those big glowing blue chunks. You look for blue glowing specks on the side of the level, dig them out, put them into the rig. Now, there's no mule on this particular stage, so you'll have to run your minerals and quarks back to the rig by yourself. Alright, now unlike other stages, the Quark stage has enemies coming at you at increasing severity and frequency. So when you first start out, there's a couple of enemies on the level, not a big deal. You deal with them and you start working towards the objectives. But the longer you stay on the mission in the level, the more often and the faster they come at you. So you want to get through this stage quickly if you have a choice. So if you have trouble looking for an Aquark, finding one, go to an area that is off the beaten path, and that's probably where you'll find one, if not 2 or 3. Now the black boxes is zone control, repair, and then you have this bubble. Stay in the bubble to increase your percentage. The more people in there, the faster it goes. The fewer people, the slower it goes. And if nobody's in there, you start losing progress rapidly. So stay in that bubble. And of course, because of shield disruption, keep the bugs out at all costs, because they are going to be chipping away at your health very rapidly, especially once you get multiple within that zone. Now this is a good time to point out that the Deep Dive is a 3-stage raid-like environment where you can play with your buddy Bosco or with other players. So you can play with 3 other players, either pre-made or match-made. Just know that you can do the Deep Dive solo, but it will likely take you longer than if you were playing with other players. But your mileage may vary depending on how experienced everyone is at playing Deep Rock Galactic and the Deep Dive in particular. Now once you have all the Aquarks and the black box taken care of, it's time to get out. Send the rig up to orbit, but once you do that, you'll still need 2 minutes to defend the area before the drop pod is released to pick you up. Like they don't trust you or something, that you have all the Aquarks that you said you had. So it has to go up to orbit. They check it out. They say, okay, it's all good. And then they say, okay, now we're going to send in the drop pod. So even after the countdown, you're still going to have to wait probably about 30 seconds before the drop pod lands and you can make your way out. As soon as it pops up on the screen, you'll see the indicator where it's going to be at. Start making your way over there so that as soon as it opens up, you can hop in and get out. Now this is a good time to point out that everything carries over from one stage to the next in the Deep Dive. That includes your ammo, your grenades, traversal tools, including your health and whatever is in your pockets. So if you didn't have a chance to drop things into the rig or the mule or the drop pod before you got on, you can always do so in the next stage. Just make sure that you take care of it on the 3rd stage before you get out. Don't forget to keep your eyes open, both in this stage and in all stages, for gold and nitra for the reasons that I listed previously. So that's it for stage number 2. Moving on to stage number 3.
We're going deeper. Well done, team.
Alright, and on to the 3rd and final stage of the Deep Dive. This time around we have alien eggs and mini mules. Now, unlike the previous 2 missions, this one has no modifier, which is going to make this one feel a little bit easier than the last 2, especially low oxygen. So make your way through just like the first stage, looking for those alien eggs. If you're having trouble finding them, look at the terrain scanner, they'll be on there. Dig in towards that organic matter and dig out the egg, knowing that you're going to have to deal with some enemies, if not a swarm of enemies, once you pull that egg out. Now the mini mules, you'll be looking for and listening for them, because those are not on the terrain scanner. They pulse green, and they have a ping that they make when you start getting close to them. Repair them by putting those 3 legs on them. Repair them, get them back in working order. Now, unlike a regular salvage mission, you do not have the other half of the mission that you have to worry about where you have a derelict drop pod. That's not the case here. This is more like a alien egg mission where you look for the eggs, you put them in the mule, and then you call in the drop pod. And of course, the reason for doing the deep dive, in addition to getting the credits and experience from completing it, those matrix cores are the main reason to do it, which will give you weapon overclocks, cosmetics, and weapon skins. So once you have all the alien eggs and both of the mini mules repaired, then you're ready to go. Call in the drop pod and make your way out. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to check us out on social media, and thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And we'll see you next time.
Bosco, mine it! Resupply ordered!
Supply drop has been ordered and is on the way.
Light for me, please! Mine it! This is thirsty work. Line them up! Follow me, Bosco!
Well done. The mule is working again. All objectives done. Press the button on the mule when you're ready and we'll send the drop pod back in.
No ammo left.
Drop pod inbound. Stand clear.
Getting more ammo. Yeah, grabbing ammo.
Drop pod has arrived. Retrieving the mule. Drop pod departing in T-minus 5 minutes.
Head for the drop pod. Drone, get to work! I ordered a resupply!
Nitro has been withdrawn and supply pod is inbound. Hang in there. Supplies are on the way.
I ordered a resupply!
The mule is secured. Initiating launch sequence. Deep Rock Galactic thanks you for your good work. Drop pod will leave with or without you. Supply pod requisitioned. Launching now.
We order supply!
Drop pod departing in T-minus 4 minutes.
This ain't bowling, this is hot sizzle! There are no not ready yet!
That's one for the books. Retrieving escape pod.
Rock and stone in the heart!
PlayStation